Now that we've understood real versus nominal GDP, let's do an example so that we can see why it's important to distinguish between the two. So in this example, we have imagine that an economy produces two goods, flashlights and fishing lures. And in 2009, the economy produced 70 flashlights and 40 fishing lures. And the price of flashlights and fishing lures were $5 and $12 respectively. Then in 2010, the economy produced 85 flashlights and 50 fishing lures. And the price of the flashlights and fishing lures were $7 and $15 respectively. Now I understand that this is a very simplified example because all we're doing is producing flashlights and fishing lures, but this will help us understand the difference between real versus nominal and why we need to distinguish between the two. Let's start out with trying to understand the 2009 nominal GDP. 2009 nominal GDP is calculated by taking the production of flashlights, 70 times 5, which is equal to 350. And then adding that to 40 times 12, for a quantity of 40 fishing lures, times the price of 12, which is $480, which totals up to be $830. So what this says is that in 2009, our nominal GDP was $830. Now, if we use 2009 dollars as our base year, then nominal and real are going to be the same. Okay. So now, if we go on to the next slide, let's look at 2010. In 2010, our 2010 nominal GDP could be calculated by taking the 85, which is a quantity of flashlights produced in 2010, times the price of flashlights in 2010. And notice the price increased from $5 to $7 from 2009 to 2010. So if we calculate our 2009 or 2010 nominal GDP, we would take the dollars that we produced of flashlights, 595, and add them to the dollars produced of fishing lures, which comes out to be 750, and the total is 1,345. Now, if we weren't careful, we would say that we had an increase in GDP from 2009 of 830 to 1345. But that would be exaggerating because this doesn't take into account that the price in 2009 went up in 2010. So to really compare between the years, the actual production, what we would have to do is take the production in 2010 and use 2009 dollars to actually look at, in real terms, what is 2010 GDP. So the way we do that is we take the 2010 quantity and then take the 2009 price, multiply those, and that would give us, in real terms, in 2009 dollars, the production in 2010, which is really only 425. And then if you go ahead and calculate fishing lures, if you multiply 12 times 50, the amount of dollars that we produced worth of fishing lures in 2009 dollars that we produced in 2010 is really the total is going to be 1,025. You add 425 and 600. So what this says is that if you hold prices constant between 2009 and 2010 and just look at production increases, the GDP in real terms went from $830 using 2009 prices, and in 2009 the real and nominal GDP would be 830, and that GDP increased to only 1,025 in 2010 because we had to account for the price increases. Now, we don't have to use 2009 dollars. We could use 2010 as our base year and then do the same calculations. But what this does, what I did right here is to show you that if we weren't careful, we would think we'd say our GDP went up from 830 to 1345, and that looks like a very large increase in gross domestic product. But if we actually control for prices, then the increase was only 830 up in 2009 up to 1,025 in 2010.